Hi everyone, so Jody Deane here, and in this video the intention is to really speak to that which is within us that is so above what is going on in the world, that is so above all points of view where there is a victim and a perpetrator, where there is I'm right, you're wrong, and really look from a higher self perspective where in our essence everything is connected and we are individuations of Source itself. And well, that might be a big leap for you, or it might be something familiar to you. Either way, especially with how 2026 and how this decade has been panning out, there's so much chaos, craziness going on, and it can be extremely dysregulating for our nervous systems. And I feel it's really a time now, an invitation for us all, for each and every one of us, to look from a much higher perspective about our own lives and about what's transpiring on the planet. So, there's a war going on right now, a big war. There's more than one that's very much in the media, and then we've got all kinds of stuff going on politically. We've got talk about disclosure happening more and more and more, and then we've got this sense of something in the collective that is shifting, where there is a consciousness that is more coherent and intelligent, where we've got these disclosures happening, and of course with the Epstein files, etc., we've got all of that going on. We're exposed to so much new information and data, and we're having to make sense of it all, whilst at the same time lead our lives. And that is it's a lot. That's really like compression. So this is what's happening, and from my perspective, from my highest self perspective, is what is going to continue to happen and to accelerate. And so the only way out of this is in and from a higher perspective, from our higher self, to really recognize everything is playing out as lessons and as choice points, and to ultimately come into a place of neutrality, where we come to a place of acceptance of what is, not trying to change people, but to accept them as they are. And through that acceptance, shift happens. And this is actually one big surrender. That's my experience. So I'm 49 years old, going on to be 50, this year. And so I've lived a life, and I'm recognizing that really now is this point where outbreath can happen. For me, for you, the viewer, for the collective. Outbreath can finally happen as we allow ourselves to expand into a much broader, higher self perspective, where we're looking at everything from the perspective of oneness, the perspective of soul, and that these identities that we hold as I'm a citizen of this country, or you're this religion or this race, it's all details which are ultimately insignificant. And it's more like, well, you like Stilton cheese and I like Edam cheese. And it's right, it's like toning down all the charge, removing the charge actually completely, and cultivating this inner spaciousness. We can finally just and step into a much more galactic perspective of what's happening here on Earth. This is the way, this is the invitation for all of this that's happening on the planet. All this craziness is to take a breath and stop and pause and dial out. Dial out from all of these competing points of view and dial into infinite love, dial into higher self perspective, dial into source consciousness. And ultimately disidentifying with the identities, with the beliefs which cause us suffering. So the invitation is just to take a moment here and tune in. And if there's anything resonating with you, within you, with these words, to acknowledge it. And if nothing resonates, that's totally fine as well. But accepting and recognizing and allowing that which does resonate with you from the words I've just shared, from this higher perspective I've just shared. Beautiful. Thank you so much for watching and listening and staying present. And if you'd like at all any guidance from me, get more clarity in your life, navigate these times of awakening, of collective upheaval, then go ahead and book a call, book an accelerator session. The link should be in the comments and in the description. So, love you. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.